Hey everybody, welcome to the channel today. I'm getting a little bit late start on this garden update this year. We got everything planted several weeks ago, and this is my first chance to finally get caught up. Hopefully I'll post videos weekly on the harvesting and everything like that. We'll start out with my 5-gallon container set up here. This is meant to hold 5 or 6 5-gallon buckets, and I've just kind of got stuff scattered in it right now. But anyhow, starting out on the end here, I've got my cherry tomato plant. As you can see, it's already got blooms and everything on it, so we're not far from having tomatoes. It's a determinate plant, so it will only get so big. The indeterminate tomatoes are out in the garden, but I've got about 40 green onions here in the 5-quart containers, and then in another 5-gallon bucket I've got a habanero pepper. My wife wanted some marigolds. We had some out by the front of the garden there. We planted a pack here. I never have grown a squash in a 5-gallon bucket, so I figured we'd give that a shot to see how it does. The ones in the garden are quite a bit bigger than this one, so I definitely say the garden is the advantage. I did 5-gallon buckets of Pontiac red potatoes, and the first 4 here, I just put a sliver. I mean, literally, it's like one potato cut up into 4, and that's how big that got. It's unbelievable, really. And in the last bucket, there's a whole potato planted in the last bucket. I just wanted to see if it really was a difference if I just planted, one of the sprouts versus the whole potato. And it's definitely more sprouts there, but I don't know that it's going to do any better. We'll just see how the yield is on it. Okay, now with the earth garden, right here in the front, I've got 3 yellow crookneck squashes. And in the back, the number 4 plant back there is a zucchini. There's already some buds on some of them. Who's Scout? That's my German Shepherd Scout. He's always in the way. So I've got 3 indeterminate tomatoes back here in the cages. The first one here in front of you is a big boy variety. Let me step over here in the muddy garden and let's see. This one here is the better boy, and everything already has flowers on it, so we're not far from producing some fruit here. This is the big beef variety. So getting back to the front of the garden here, this right here is 2, they ended up being about 8 feet long rows of carrots. I forget the variety exactly, but they were the tape variety where you just roll out the white tape and plant them. Back behind that, there's 75 white onions. They're doing real well. Here in the front, I've got a sweet pepper. Behind it is a jalapeno pepper, and then behind it is 3. I'll come around here so you can see them. 3 bell peppers, and I think 2 of them are red, and 1 of them is the standard green. I'm really not sure of the variety actually at this point, but I know I had red and green. It might be a yellow one, and maybe it's one of all 3 colors. I don't know. Anyways, there's already bell peppers on there. We'll zoom in so you can see it maybe a little bit. Anyways, so that's what's going on there. Now this row to the left of this pepper plant here is purple hull peas, and I didn't really get a good harvest or germination on these. I think I've only got like 7 plants. It said to space them like a foot apart, and I'm gonna have to go back and re-sow in some more seeds. I at least want to have about 5 or 6 more in there. And this is a small garden here. It's just 32 by 16, but I still like to get all I could out of it. And the last 2 rows here on the left is okra. And it's been raining here so much, we haven't had a chance to get out here and do all the weeding, but we've been keeping it knocked back pretty good. I use a cultivator, a little mini tiller, to till between the rows a little bit, and it helps out quite a bit. Here on the far left, we have the mammoth sunflowers. We started the first 6 or 7 of them here. As you can tell, they're quite a bit bigger, out as seeds, and we double planted them side by side, which might end up being a mistake. I don't know. We're going to see. And then the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them down there, we planted as seeds, and they're They've only been in the ground about 14 days now, and they're already, I'd say, at least 30 inches tall. That fence is 24 inches, so they're about 6 inches above that at least. All right, now back here on the back of the garden, I put these 2 cattle panels in for my trellis. They are 4 gauge, I believe. I got them at Tractor Supply. They're just like 15 bucks a piece, so really is a good deal for what you're getting. I use landscaping timbers to put them up, and they're like 4 bucks a piece. So one whole thing is like 20 something dollars, real cheap. I didn't use concrete or anything. I just put them right in the ground, about 2 feet, I think it was. Anyways, here on the right, on this trellis here, we have, there are pickling cucumbers and slicing cucumbers, and I'm not real sure at this point which one's which. Actually, I can get down here and look. Second. So these on this end down here are the regular cucumbers, slicing cucumbers, and the ones down there are the pickling cucumbers. We put in a kind of in tight quarters here, but everything underneath the trellis is going to be on the trellis, so we're thinking that we'll have a little bit of ground space here for a couple watermelons and 1 cantaloupe plant. So this one right here is a cantaloupe plant. I'm starting to have some mold underneath this plant right here, up there on the ground. If anybody has any information on that, what I can do to get rid of it, leave a comment on that. I did some research on it, and they say that it's actually a good thing, that it means your soil is alive and everything, but there might be a little bit of excessive moisture. So leave a comment if you have any tips for it. We've had a ton of rain here in North Alabama, so not much I can do about that right now. But anyways, I have a cantaloupe here, and then this right here is a yellow watermelon. Growing up, we had those around here, and you hardly can find them anymore. Hopefully they'll take off. The plant's doubled in about the last 5 days, so they're doing real well. This back here on the back trellis is, I believe it was the Provider. It was the Provider green beans, I believe, was the particular species of seeds. So anyways, it's supposed to be a real good green bean, so we'll see how that turns out. And down there on the far end, right there, is a crimson watermelon. So we'll have 2 watermelon vines back here. Everything goes well. That's pretty much it. We've got tons of flowers around here. So I built my wife and daughter a little herb box. It's kind of a trial and error type thing. We don't really know how to grow this stuff. We never have done it, so this is going to be a new thing. We have some rosemary, sage, basil, and dill. If anybody has any tips for us, rosemary is a little slow going, so everything else is doing pretty well. But the dill is absolutely taking off, so we're going to be needing that to do some pickles here pretty soon, because I've already got a whole bunch of little small cucumbers on the vines. So anyways, pretty cool little project. Turned out pretty nice. Took me about 10 minutes to build it. Added some scrap lumber, so it worked out really well. So, and we had a fun project here. Me, my wife, and my daughter got some stencils out and painted and colored, and had a fun couple hours. Didn't cost us anything. Thanks for viewing the video. Like, share, and subscribe.